Are you looking at doing a Chevy 2500 Tourer, but you want to stand out a little bit from the crowd? This one here could be exactly what you're chasing. Color-coded wheels to the vehicle and a 20-inch wheel rather than an 18. The MITS alloy canopy on the back end. I look forward to showing you around that one there. This one here is built for purpose. Got 6 wheels, 6 tires that this option can run. We've also got all the popular options. The front bar combo on this one has definitely added to the aesthetics of the whole build. The color-coded canopy though, it gets me every time. I'm Dean Bleasner, the co-founder of Big Dog Builds. We've had over 650 trucks through the workshop now. The Chevy 2500 HD platform is one of the most popular that we see come through the workshop. And this one here is a 2025 model. It's only got 700 kilometers on the clock. The customer picked it up from interstate, made the run up to Queensland, dropped it in at Big Dog Builds. We've done the full build now and we're into the final stages, ready for that quality control check. A few little bits and pieces to go before the customer flies in, picks up the vehicle and travels interstate back home. If you're interstate and you're finding it hard to get into Queensland, we've got transport network all around Australia now. So we'll pick up your vehicle, we can bring it into the workshop, fly in once it's done, or we can even assist getting your vehicle back home to you and doing a virtual walk around. Let's go have a look at this 2025 Sterling Grey model. Is it better than the slate grey? I think so. We're starting with the Big Dog Builds accessory rack. This one here is the bare platform. You're ready to install things like MaxTrax, solar panels, the Starlink mount, you name it, this roof rack can do it all. The benefit with the Big Dog Builds accessory rack is you've got these big open areas. You can still use the full sunroof on the Chevy 2500 model. And if you're washing the roof of the vehicle, you're not trapped by a big solid platform up on top. So it makes washing it really nice and easy as well. We've got the side lights from Stedi. We've got the front curved light bar from Stedi as well. These are all switched through the SP9100 switching unit. So that's a Switch Pro switching unit inside the cab itself. With the Switch Pro unit, you can dim down the side lights. So you can change these from amber to white. You can put them on warm white. Then you can dim them down 3 different levels as well. So nice and simple setup. Really usable if you're wanting to add little tie down rails, MaxTrax universal mounts, for example. You've got your little T-slot crossbars there. We'll give you spare channel nuts and you can either do M6 or M8 accessories. And that one there is going to be one nice usable setup ready for all of the goodies. And this one flows through to the MITS alloy canopy on the back end there quite nicely. If you did have something temporarily running too long for the canopy and it just sits over the top of the cab itself, just remember, don't tie the canopy roof rack to the Big Dog roof rack on the cab itself, because there is quite a lot of movement between the canopy itself and the vehicle cab. So that's one thing. It's okay temporarily, or if you've got a little bit of slack there and something's resting on the one on the cab, but don't do it too solid, otherwise you could snap whatever you strap between the 2 different loads. Up here as well, I'll swing around to the other side and I'll show you the Oricom fold down UHF bracket and what we've done over there. On this side here, we've got the Oricom fold down bracket. Simply pull that tab, fold that one up into place. I've even heard that the cool kids run them like that as well. But that one's quite easy. Fold that one down. If you are going under car parks, for example, yes, the Chevy 2500 is quite high. One thing I will do actually, this is running 3-inch suspension, 35-inch tires with the Big Dog Builds accessory rack. Hold 1 more minute. I'll look for a tape measure around this workshop somewhere and we'll see what the height of this UHF fold down bracket is to the floor. It is the tallest part on the vehicle itself, apart from the awning brackets that are on the canopy at the back. So we'll throw a tape measure on those ones as well, because I do get asked that question quite a lot. We all know how detail orientated I am. I've got the spirit level there. We'll pop that one on the highest point of the vehicle. Oh, that's not very sturdy. And I've got the trusty Stanley here. Stanley identifies as a premium tape measure today. And from the vehicle itself to that highest point, we're at 2220. So 2.22 meters high is going to be the maximum clearance. I'd probably still send it under a 2.2 in a shopping centre, but that's just me. 2220 there, that's the highest point. And we'll spin up to the back there as well. See what the awning brackets are on the MITS alloy. And that one there is going to be the highest point for this customer. But if you've just got the Big Dog Builds accessory rack with the tub on the back, 2220. That's a magic number for a 3-inch lift, 35-inch tyre combination, the Big Dog Builds accessory rack with a fold-down UHF bracket up on top. When it comes to the rear end here, before we get up into the roof rack, I've actually just spotted 4 seats across the back end here. We didn't do this in-house, but this one here has got the 4 seats across the back end there. It's got the tie-down points. If you're popped out too many kids, this could be the perfect application for you in the rear end there. 4 little ones strapped in the back nice and safely, and then mum and dad up the front. So get in touch if you're keen on this one here. I'll get a little bit of information. We'll point you in the right direction. But we've got important things like the height of this vehicle off the ground. I'll squeeze that one in there. I don't want to go near his paintwork. And to the top end of these awning brackets, it's just under 2.4 meters tall. So it's about 2380. So 2.4 meters to the top of a MITS alloy canopy setup on a 3-inch lift Chevy 2500. The awning itself might go that little bit taller as well. So I'd call it 2.4 to 2.5. There you go. I get asked that a lot. I've gotten the tape measure down a few times, and it comes down to little things like the side steps on this model as well. Factory side steps on a 3-inch lift and 35s sits at 480 mil off the ground. And if you're wanting to make it a little bit easier to get in and out of the vehicle itself, we've got the 2 different side step models. That's going to drop down that little bit further than these factory steps. Definitely make getting in and out that little bit easier. He's got 4 kids, had to save some money elsewhere and keep the factory side steps on this model here. But let's swing around to the front end. I'll show you the bar work on this one here, get into the suspension, the wheels, the tyres, and then into the canopy itself. If you've got the Chevy 2500 model, the Phantom front bar from ADD comes out of the US. We've got a few different lighting options that we can run with this bar combination. And this one here has got the Rigid Industries LED lights. The cool thing with this one here is it actually has an RGB front light bar as well. So that can run the daytime run lights. So you've got the fancy little colors in there for daytime use. Flick it over to nighttime and that one there is gonna definitely pack a punch. Then we've got the Big Dog Builds little fold up bracket here, and that one's housing the hidden winch underneath the license plate. So we've got the 15,000 pound carbon winch tucked in nice and neatly under there. You've still got access in here to get to the clutch on the winch itself. So if you're wanting to lift that one up, spin it 90 degrees, you can run out with your winch cable. If you think you're going to need your winch, pop your bonnet, turn on your winch isolator, and you're ready to turn on your wireless remote controller and get straight into recovering yourself. But let's face it, most of the time you're using the winch on one of these bad boys, it's going to be for your mate in the Land Cruiser. Winch in the front, 15,000 pounds, rigid LED lights. It's got the bash plates underneath there. It is quite nice and high, and it is nice and sleek as well. So it is one of the neatest fitting bars on the Chevy 2500 in the market. And if you're worried about animal impacts on a bar like this one here, it's going to be a nice solid foundation to the front end of the vehicle. If you've got a big skippy, you're still going to go through the grille, for example. It's going to pop a headlight, but the main foundation of the winch in the center there is going to take the brunt of it, and you're still going to be able to drive home. You've also got the recovery points on the front end there as well, and obviously everything like the factory parking sensors get plugged back into the bar, so it all operates as per normal. So that's the front end setup there. The 2025 model Chevy 2500, it's got this nice gloss black front grille. It hasn't got the color coded part there like the 24 models have, and on the Chevy 2500s coming into Australia, they look amazing. They've only got 2 little parts of chrome. The Chevy badge on the front there, as well as the Duramax badges up on the bonnet. Everything else is already gloss black. We can even go down, we can delete that chrome there. We can cut out the Cat 6 indicator there as well. We can do a painted gloss black option for that one. And speaking of paint, we've also gone and painted the Bushwhacker color-coded flares. Depending on the wheel and tyre fitment for your Chevy 2500, going for a color-coded flare option definitely ties in really nicely, especially if you've got a canopy on the back end. I love the color-coded front flares. These ones here are the smooth type. They haven't got the fake bolt holes through them, and they definitely cover those tires really, really nicely. With wheel and tire combination on this one, we've got a 35, 12.5, 20 Nitto Ridge grappler. That's a 125Q, and then we've got the Method 605 NV, so it's a 20 by 10 neg 24. With your offset in your wheel fitments, your 20 inches your diameter, your 10 inches the width of that wheel, and the neg 24 fitment in the offset is how far that wheel sits either inside the guard or outside the guard. Putting it nice and simply, the more negative the number, the further away from the vehicle suspension you're going to be. The more positive the number, like an OE wheel fitment, is going to be quite high in that number. It's going to be like a POS 47, for example, and it's going to be further towards the suspension components. With the BDS 3-inch suspension kit, which this vehicle has, you do have to change your factory wheels and tyres, because while that vehicle sits really nice with the 3-inch lift and the factory wheels, as you drop that tyre down, that tyre actually hits on the upper control arms in this BDS suspension kit. So going for a wider offset means that the suspension's going to still be able to operate to its optimal. So with that 3-inch suspension kit, it's still going to be able to drive really well, but that tyre is going to come away from it, it's going to clear those suspension items, and it's going to give you the best use case. Sticking to a 20-inch wheel like this one here is definitely a little bit different. We normally step down to an 18-inch, but the 20-inch wheel with the titanium colour from Method definitely looks the part. It's fairly close to the sterling grey that the Chevy 2500 now comes in. A little bit darker in the wheel, but it definitely looks the part. With the stainless lip bolts in these wheels as well, it definitely looks amazing. We've also gone and installed the tyre valves as well, and they're from Apex. Those ones there, you can simply undo the little tyre valve. The first time they're always that little bit sticky. We'll see how easy this one is to undo. You can pump these tyres up to 55, 60 PSI or whatever you're wanting to run them at. You can simply pull the little red valve here. It is quite loud and it's going to dump that air out nice and quickly. The guys here must hate me after I film on Wednesdays. So all different tyre pressures all around. So during the QC checks on these trucks before it goes to the customer, obviously we'll inflate the tyres to match all around, but playing around with the tyre pressures as well once you do get travelling, it makes a huge difference to the drivability of the vehicle itself. Dialing in the suspension with the shock absorbers, the 2.5 Fox shocks have got a full adjustability in those ones there. And then playing around with the tyre pressures as well, depending on which road surface you're driving on, whether it be beach, whether it be bush, whether it be corrugations or a lot of blacktop. Playing around with tyre pressures will definitely keep them in good nick, keep you on the road for longer, because for some reason, these things aren't getting any cheaper. There's about 4 price rises last year across the board in all of the tyre brands. So looking after those ones there is going to save the bank, and you can spend a bit more money at the pub after a big day of driving. One more thing with the wheels and tyres is we've got the Kickback mud flaps. So when we've gone for the colour-coded flares, the Kickback mud flaps are going to be the best option for the front end of these Chevy 2500s to stop the stones flicking up the side of the vehicle itself. Obviously, the wider you go in that tyre, the more stones and sand and whatnot are wanting to flick up the side there. If you've got a bigger tyre option on a smaller lift, we need to do more trimming in this mud flap area. But having these Kickback mud flaps is going to give you enough clearance where the tyre is still going to be able to swing in its full rotation, and you're not going to be rubbing up against the mud flaps itself. So super neat, simple setup there. Pretty much every vehicle that's coming in to get flares are getting these Kickback mud flaps now. We've got great feedback so far. So if you're chasing those ones there, definitely add it to the list if you haven't come in yet. And if you're wanting those ones there, we can link you to purchasing them. They're quite easy to install. You don't have to remove anything to get into them. So if you've got a build done, these are fairly new to the market, so we'll send a set out to you and get you sorted as well. So the side of this vehicle here definitely looks the part. The sterling grey from the new Chevy 2500 colour here in 2025 has been colour coded into the doors from MITS alloy as well. So you got your 2 colour coded main doors and your 4 toolboxes as well, all colour coded to the vehicle itself. We'll get into this MITS alloy canopy setup there. And this one here has got a humongous amount of room inside the back. I'll look for a light switch. I do have to jump around to the other side. I went looking for a light switch because usually it's on a keypad on the other side, but of course they're already powered up, ready to go. You can change them to amber, change them to white. So that one there, nice simple setup. You got your LED lights in the door. You got your little controls on the outside of that door panel as well. And inside this one here is a humongous amount of room. So you got your 8-foot tray on the MITS alloy. You can either choose a 7-foot or an 8-foot tray. This one is running the 8-foot, and I'm assuming that's a 7.5-ish foot canopy on the back there as well. I always get confused. These canopy companies do feet for trays, millimeters for canopies, and vice versa. So I can't keep track of all of it. I'll remember the important details, and that's on the vehicle itself, and we'll let canopy companies like MITS get the rear end sorted. It's got their little protective flooring in here. The Weekender battery pack, I believe it's called, and that one there's the smallest battery pack that MITS offer. You got your simple DC-DC charger, your 100 amp slimline battery, your upright fridge, and if you got solar on the top there, this is the basic setup, ready to run a fridge full time, and that's pretty much it. So if you're used to camping, doing the basics, got a fridge running, keeping the kids happy, throwing plenty of gear in the back end here, this could be the perfect setup. Little floating shelf up on top there as well, definitely looks the part, but I'll see if I can turn this off. I'm not very good at these things though. And off, there we go. Spin around to the other side. Before we get around to the other side, we'll look at the back. When it comes to the rear end setup here, obviously we've got a few little bits and pieces to go, and this one here could still fit a 35-inch spare up in its factory location, and then a 35-inch tyre will fit up on the rear end of the canopy as well. We've also gone and installed the Gen Y hitch combo. So this one here is the 7,000 kilo combo. If you've got a ball weight of over 300 kilos, I definitely recommend jumping up to this one here. It's going to be the best performance hitch on the market for your van or big boat on the rear end. And with the Gen Y hitch combos, make sure you get these little key locks as well. Those ones there are going to stop anyone pinching a prized possession like this. You got your 50mm ball that was obviously towing something recently. 70mm ball there that's flippable, and then you can pop that receiver out, put in the AT tongue, and that's what's going to have the DO35 or DO45, which most vans are running these days as well. So that's the rear end setup there, your 12-pin plug up there. We've also got your grey and your red Anderson plugs. So your grey Anderson plug's going to be there to charge your caravan, 50 amp rated. Your red Anderson plug on there is going to be direct feed to the battery. If you're running one, you might as well run the two. Some vans don't need the red Anderson combo on the rear there, but if you did ever need to tow someone else's van, at least optioning it up from the start there is going to tackle everything in one hit. It doesn't cost much more to add the red at the same time, so we recommend it on every single rear Anderson plug setup. That's pretty much it of the rear here. Spare wheel ready to go up on top, a couple jerry can holders, whether it be fuel or water. This customer hasn't gone for a long range fuel tank, so a couple diesel jerrys up on there as an emergency setup will definitely be sorted for him. And as you can see here as well, Mitts have also installed the massive trundle drawer that this one has. It's got a few little bits and pieces from ARB, air control, air hose kit, so I'm assuming there's an ARB compressor in the other side there. We'll close this one up. One more thing to show you before we spin around to that side there is the water tank outlet. This one here has a little pump. I'm not turning that one on because I'm not cleaning it up in the workshop. But that one there, it's got dual water tanks. You got your headboard water tank, and then you've got your one underneath the vehicle as well. Headboard water tanks are usually gravity fed through a tap at the front. This one here for the under tray water tank is going to have a little 12 volt pump on there, and it's going to give you the option to plug in something, have a little bit more pressure than just a gravity fed one would. When your family member buys a new phone and you just want to rip off the protective coating, I won't be that guy today, but Mitts have installed the Dometic upright fridge on this side. You got your little pantry set up there as well. And then you got your trundle drawer. And with the Mitts setups, the trundle drawer also has this pretty decent table up the back there as well. So massive amount of prep storage there. Light enough to make a little wrap or something on the road. And if you wanted to make it a little bit stronger, you can just do the table itself. It's just going to be a little bit more solid. I wouldn't put anything too heavy if it's all the way out. But everything that Mitts do has good quality runners, good quality powder coat, definitely looks the part as well. And under the drawers here, that's where the little twin ARB compressor and the tank setup is, as well as the air outlet there as well. The air outlet being inside the toolbox as well is going to make sure that this customer leaves it open, and by doing that, they do it on purpose. You want to keep this one open, you want to get good airflow going in there. The twin ARB compressors can get quite hot, especially while you're traveling. So make sure you're not running them when the doors are closed, because you don't want to cook those units, especially in the warmer climates around Australia. That's pretty much it. You got your AdBlue, you got your fuel filler, you've also got your water tank in the front there with the little tap. So that one's gravity fed, like I said. You've got another little storage pouch in the front there. It's got a little cable on it as well, so it's not going to overextend, come down and scratch that nice color-coded door on the flare of the vehicle. And then so the flares are covering the wheels and tyres on this one here. This vehicle also has a massive 58-28 kilo GVM, and that's going to be over 2-ton payload off a standard weight vehicle. With a massive canopy like this one here, it's obviously going to add a few kilos, but it is quite lightweight, and the benefit with the Mitts as well is you can remove the canopy itself, Buy some tray sides or run it as a massive 8-foot tray on the back. Whether you're running a couple quad bikes on the back of this one here, whether you've got a motorbike, whether you've got a fridge on the headboard. We've also got the underseat battery setup that we can offer from Big Dog Builds, obviously. So if you're wanting a removable canopy setup and still run a fridge on the headboard, the MITS alloy are definitely becoming very, very popular. I'll see if I can turn this one off and off. There we go. That's it. Nice, simple, massive amount of storage in this canopy setup. You've got water under there. You've got air on board to pump up your tyres. You've also got your outlets at the back ready to tow the caravan. The rest of the build that we've done here at Big Dog definitely dialed this one in really, really nicely. 3-inch lift, 35s. We looked at the height of the roof rack on this one as well, and the awning. That's pretty much it. That's all I can think of. If you like this Chevy 2500 setup, guys, check this one out here that also has a MITS. If you want to see Norwald's canopy with trip and a van walk around, that one's there. These two here, they're pretty impressive as well.